There's a certain quietness you carry, a way of moving through the world as if your inner life is a room with the door gently pulled, almost closed, not locked, just protected. And if you trace that instinct back far enough, you might notice it didn't begin in adulthood. It began in the small, unnoticed moments of childhood, when you learned that being fully seen came with a cost you weren't ready to pay. Maybe it was the way emotions felt too large for the space you were given, or how the atmosphere around you shifted without warning. Without realizing it, your nervous system learned to stay alert, to read the room before you entered it. This is how a child disappears, not dramatically but quietly, by turning inward long before anyone notices. You learn to hold your thoughts like fragile objects, turning them over in your mind instead of placing them in someone else's hands. Not because you were weak, but because you were human, and your body understood what your mind couldn't yet explain. Privacy became a kind of shelter, a soft internal corner where you could breathe without being interpreted. And over time, that shelter became familiar, almost comforting. What saved you then now imprisons you, but only in the gentlest way. Like a room you've lived in for so long that stepping outside feels strangely bright. As you grew older, this inwardness didn't vanish. It simply changed shape. You became the one who listens more than you speak, who notices the tone beneath someone's words, who senses tension before anyone else feels it. Hypervigilance, though no one ever called it that, became a quiet companion. You learned to anticipate rather than react, to observe rather than reveal. And people may have mistaken this for shyness or distance, but you know it's something different. It's the instinct to protect what is tender inside you. There were times when you tried to open up, to let someone in, but the moment you felt misunderstood, something in you retreated. Not dramatically, not with anger, just a soft withdrawal, like a tide pulling back from the shore. You learned that sharing yourself required energy you weren't always sure you had, so you rationed it. You offered pieces of yourself slowly, carefully, only to those who felt safe enough to hold them. And even then, you kept the deepest parts tucked away, not out of secrecy, but out of reverence. Your attachment patterns formed quietly, shaped by the emotional weather of your early world. Maybe you became the self-reliant one, the child who grew up too quickly, carrying responsibilities that were never meant for your shoulders. Parentification leaves a mark like that. It teaches you to be strong, but it also teaches you to hide your needs so no one has to carry them. Or perhaps you learned that closeness was unpredictable, that affection could shift without warning. So you built a private inner life where nothing could be taken from you. In adulthood, this privacy becomes a kind of language. You speak in subtleties and pauses, in the spaces between words. You reveal yourself slowly, like someone opening a window just enough to let in air, but not enough to let anything escape. People may sense depth in you without ever touching the bottom of it. And you might wonder why you are this way, why your inner world feels so guarded even when you trust someone. But the truth is simple. Your privacy is not a flaw. It is an adaptation, a quiet intelligence your younger self crafted to survive. And yet, there are moments, small, fleeting, when you feel the weight of everything you've kept inside. When you sense the distance between who you are internally and what others see. When you realize how much of your life has been lived in silence, not because you chose it, but because it was the safest place to be. And in those moments, something softens. You begin to understand that your privacy is not a wall, but a boundary shaped by experience. A boundary that once protected you and still does. You don't need to change it tonight. You don't need to open the door wider than you're ready for. It's enough to simply notice the shape of your inner world, to recognize the quiet architecture of your own survival. And maybe as you sit with that understanding, you feel something loosen, just slightly, as if a long-held breath has finally been released.